Let's get one thing straight right now. The most magnetic people in the room are never the ones who spent the most money on their clothes. They're not the ones with the perfect jawline or the flawless hair. The most magnetic people are the ones who carry themselves with unshakable confidence. Confidence is what makes people stop and pay attention. Confidence is what makes you unforgettable. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone walk into a room and immediately, without saying a word, every head turns? What was it about them? 9 times out of 10, it wasn't about their looks. It was the way they carried themselves. Their shoulders were back, their head was held high, they had a calm but powerful presence. They weren't apologizing for taking up space. That's what confidence does. It changes how people see you before you even open your mouth. Here's the truth, appearance will always fade, but confidence only gets stronger the more you practice it. You can wear the most expensive outfit in the world, but if you shrink your body, lower your voice, and act like you don't deserve to be noticed, nobody is going to notice you. On the other hand, you can walk into a room in plain clothes, not a designer label in sight, and people will still be drawn to you if you radiate self-assurance. Confidence isn't about being the loudest person or the center of attention. It's about the way you believe in yourself. It's the way you send the message without words that you know your worth. And here's the kicker. People respond to how you treat yourself. If you treat yourself like you matter, others will do the same. Let's be real. So many of us waste energy comparing ourselves to others. We scroll through social media and think, if I had her face, his body, her style, then I'd be magnetic. No, you wouldn't. Because what makes someone magnetic isn't their cheekbones or their waistline. It's their energy. It's the confidence that says, I like who I am and I don't need to prove it to you. That's the shift you need. Stop obsessing over how you look and start obsessing over how you carry yourself. Confidence is not given to you, it's built. And you build it every single day with small decisions. Do you make eye contact when you talk to someone? Do you speak with certainty? Or do you trail off as if your words don't matter? Do you take up space in your life? Or do you constantly shrink to make others comfortable? Every one of those choices is a vote for your confidence. Here's a secret: confidence is contagious. When you're confident, you give permission for others to feel the same way. That's why people gravitate toward you. You're not just magnetic because of what you're doing. You're magnetic because you make other people feel better when they're around you. You make them feel safe, inspired, alive. That's the kind of power confidence gives you. And here's the thing, nobody tells you confidence is not about being perfect. In fact, confidence comes from owning your imperfections. When you stop hiding your flaws and start embracing them, people respect you more. Why? Because it takes guts to be authentic. It takes guts to say, yeah, I'm not perfect, but I'm still proud of who I am. That kind of honesty is magnetic. Now let's talk about body language. Your body speaks before your mouth does. The way you walk, the way you sit, the way you shake someone's hand, those things tell the world whether you believe in yourself. Stand tall, shoulders back, chin up. These little adjustments don't just change how others see you. They change how you feel about yourself. Science proves this. Your body language can literally rewire your brain to feel more confident. But let's go deeper. True confidence isn't just about posture and tone. True confidence comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for. When you are rooted in your values, when you know what matters to you and you refuse to compromise on it, you radiate strength. That's why people are drawn to confident individuals. They're not unpredictable. They know who they are, and that makes others trust them. Stop waiting until you feel ready to be confident. Stop telling yourself that once you lose 10 pounds, once you get that promotion, once you have the perfect outfit, you'll feel magnetic. No. Confidence comes first. You decide today that you are enough. You decide today that your worth doesn't depend on your appearance. And then, ironically, the world begins to see you differently. Confidence is the most attractive quality you can have. It doesn't matter if you're trying to impress a room full of strangers, build a career, or draw someone special closer to you. Confidence makes you unforgettable because it shows that you value yourself. And when you value yourself, others have no choice but to do the same. Let's talk about authenticity. Owning who you are without apology is one of the most magnetic qualities you can ever develop. The moment you stop performing, stop pretending, stop trying to fit yourself into some box just to be liked, you unlock a level of attraction that no fake image can compete with. Authenticity is powerful because it's rare in a world where people filter everything, edit every photo, and shape shift to gain approval. The person who dares to show up as their real self becomes unforgettable. Think about the people who inspire you the most. They're not flawless. They're not trying to play a part. They have quirks, flaws, imperfections, and they don't hide them, they own them. And that's exactly why you trust them, why you lean in when they talk, why you feel safe around them. Authenticity has a frequency. When someone is genuine, you can feel it. It cuts through all the noise and it draws you closer. Here's the truth. Pretending to be something you're not is exhausting. You spend your time worrying about what people think, carefully editing every word, every move, every look, hoping you'll finally get approval. But you know what happens? Even if people do like you, they're not actually liking you. They're liking the version of you that you're performing. That means you never really feel secure in those connections. Authenticity fixes that. When you're authentic, the people who are drawn to you are drawn to the real you. And that feels liberating. Owning your authenticity means embracing every part of yourself, the messy parts, the parts you think aren't good enough, the parts you've been taught to hide. It's about saying, this is me. I'm not perfect. And I don't need to be. That's where true confidence lives, because authenticity is confidence in its purest form. When you stop chasing validation, you start radiating certainty, and that certainty is magnetic. Let's be honest, society trains us to conform. From an early age, we're told to fit in, to act a certain way, to keep our opinions to ourselves, to not be too much. You were taught that blending in was safe. But here's the problem: blending in makes you invisible. The people who stand out, the ones who are remembered, the ones who create impact, are the ones who dare to stand in their truth. They refuse to shrink. They refuse to pretend. They refuse to sacrifice their voice just to please someone else. And here's the reality: authenticity isn't about being liked by everyone. In fact, it guarantees that you won't be. Some people won't like the real you. And that's okay, because the right people, the people who are meant for you, the people who align with your values and energy, will be drawn to you in a way that's unshakable. Stop wasting your time trying to please the wrong people. Start focusing on being so authentic that the right people can't miss you. Let's talk about relationships. Do you want to know what makes someone magnetic in a romantic relationship? It's not being the most beautiful or the most charming. It's being real. It's being the kind of person who doesn't hide behind a mask, because real attracts real. When you're authentic, you give others permission to be authentic. 2, and that creates connection on a level that fake perfection never can. Authenticity is also about courage. It takes courage to walk into a room and not perform. It takes courage to speak your truth even when it's unpopular. It takes courage to stand in your values when it would be easier to go along with the crowd. But that courage is exactly what sets you apart. The moment you decide that your truth matters more than approval, you become magnetic. People respect courage. They respect honesty. They respect the person who doesn't sell themselves out for a round of applause. Here's the thing most people don't realize: authenticity isn't something you find. It's something you practice. Every time you choose to say what you really think instead of what you think people want to hear, you're practicing authenticity. Every time you show up as yourself instead of performing, you're building the muscle. Every time you refuse to shrink to make someone else comfortable, you're strengthening that part of you. Owning your authenticity is not about being reckless or rude. It's not about saying, "This is just who I am, deal with it." No, that's ego. Authenticity is deeper. It's about alignment. It's about living in harmony with your values, your truth, your purpose. It's about making sure that who you are on the inside matches who you are on the outside. And when those things align, you radiate integrity. People may not always agree with you, but they will respect you. Let's strip it down. If you want to be magnetic, stop trying to be impressive. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to fit into a mold that was never designed for you. Instead, lean into what makes you different. Own your quirks. Own your story. Own your voice, because those are the exact things that make you unforgettable. Nobody remembers the copy. People remember the original. The most powerful thing you can do is stop apologizing for who you are. Stop saying sorry for taking up space. Stop apologizing for your dreams, your feelings, your personality. When you apologize for who you are, you send the message that you're not enough. And people believe the message you send. But when you stand firm in your authenticity, when you say, "This is who I am and I'm proud of it," the world takes notice. Let's talk about one of the most misunderstood but powerful forces in your life: boundaries. Most people think boundaries are about keeping people out. They're not. Boundaries are about protecting your energy, your values, your peace, and your self-respect. They are the invisible lines that tell the world how to treat you. Without them, you will constantly find yourself drained, overlooked, and disrespected. With them, you become magnetic because you communicate self-worth without saying a single word. Here's the reality: people treat you based on what you tolerate. If you let someone talk over you, they will keep doing it. If you allow someone to ignore your needs, they'll assume your needs don't matter. If you never stand up for yourself, people will treat you like a doormat. That's not cruelty, it's human behavior. But the good news is, the moment you establish boundaries, you set a new standard. And people who respect you will rise to meet it. Boundaries are not walls. Walls keep everyone out. Boundaries filter who gets in and how. They're the structure that allows healthy relationships to thrive. Without boundaries, you are constantly giving, constantly saying yes, constantly sacrificing your own needs just to keep others happy. But here's the truth: when you do that, resentment builds. You end up exhausted, bitter, and invisible. Boundaries prevent that by creating balance. Think about, if you never say no, your yes means nothing. Boundaries give weight to your yes. They show that when you agree to something, it's genuine, not forced. They teach others that your time, your attention, and your energy are valuable. That's why boundaries create respect. Because respect isn't demanded, it's earned through clarity and consistency. So why do so many people struggle with boundaries? Because we're taught that saying no is rude. We're told that if we set limits, we're selfish. We're conditioned to believe that being liked is more important than being respected. But here's the truth you need to hear: people may like you when you have no boundaries, but they won't respect you. And without respect, there is no real connection, no real trust, no real love. Boundaries start with clarity. You have to know what you stand for. What are your values? What are your non-negotiables? What behaviors drain you? What behaviors inspire you? If you don't know your limits, you can't enforce them. Boundaries require self-awareness. They require you to decide, this is what I will accept and this is what I won't. And once you decide, you stick to it even when it's uncomfortable. Because yes, it will be uncomfortable. The first time you say no when you used to say yes, people won't like it. The first time you stop answering texts at midnight, someone will complain. The first time you call out disrespect, someone will push back. But understand this, the people who truly value you will adjust. They will respect your boundaries because they respect you. The ones who don't adjust, they were only benefiting from your lack of boundaries in the first place. Boundaries also communicate confidence. When you set a boundary, you're telling the world, I know my worth and I will not compromise it. That level of certainty is magnetic. People are drawn to individuals who value themselves. It makes them curious. It makes them want to rise to your level. Your boundaries don't push people away. They attract the right people closer. In relationships, boundaries are non-negotiable. Without them, love turns into control, respect turns into resentment, and connection turns into dependence. Boundaries make relationships healthier because they create space for individuality. They allow both people to be themselves without losing their identity in the other person. That's what makes a bond strong. It's not merging into one. It's being two whole individuals who choose to share space. Boundaries are also magnetic in your professional life. If you're the person who always says yes at work, who stays late without question, who never speaks up when overloaded, people will take advantage of you, not because they're evil, but because you've trained them to. But the moment you set limits, I can't take this on right now. I'll need support to make this happen. My time after hours is personal. You shift the power dynamic. You show that you respect your time, and as a result, others begin to respect it too. Let's talk about guilt. Guilt is the biggest barrier to boundaries. You feel guilty saying no. You feel guilty disappointing someone. You feel guilty prioritizing yourself. But here's the truth. Guilt is a sign of growth. That guilt means you're breaking old patterns. It means you're teaching yourself a new way of living. And if you can push through the guilt, on the other side is freedom. The more you practice boundaries, the less guilty you feel because you realize the people who matter most actually appreciate your clarity. Boundaries are not about punishment. They're about protection. They're not about shutting people down. They're about creating space for respect and understanding. And the beautiful part, the stronger your boundaries, the more authentic your connections become. Because when people know your limits, they know where they stand. There's no guessing, no manipulation, no confusion, just honesty. Remember this, saying no doesn't make you unkind. Saying no makes your yes more meaningful. Boundaries don't make you selfish. They make you strong. They don't push people away. They filter out the ones who don't belong in your life. And every time you stand firm, every time you protect your peace, you're teaching the world how to respect you. Energy is magnetic. Walk into any room and pay attention. You'll feel it. Some people walk in and the room gets heavier, more tense, almost uncomfortable. Others walk in and suddenly everything feels lighter. People smile more, conversations open up, and there's a sense of possibility in the air. That's the power of positive, engaged energy. It's not about faking happiness. It's not about forcing yourself to be cheerful. It's about being present, alive, and intentional with the way you show up. Let's get real. You don't need to be the most attractive, the smartest, or the most successful to draw people toward you. What people respond to is how they feel when they're around you. Do they feel drained, ignored, unimportant? Or do they feel seen, energized, and valued? That difference has nothing to do with looks or status. It has everything to do with your energy. Positive, engaged energy starts with presence. Most people are distracted. They're scrolling their phones, thinking about the past, worrying about the future. When you give someone your full attention, when you lean in, make eye contact, and actually listen, you stand out instantly. In a world where everyone feels invisible, being present makes you magnetic. People remember the person who made them feel heard. Engaged energy is active. It's the way you bring life to the moment. It's in your body language, the way you smile, the way you nod, the way you use your hands when you talk. It's in your voice, the enthusiasm, the passion, the certainty. That doesn't mean you have to be over the top. It means you're intentional. You're not speaking like you're half asleep. You're not acting like you don't care. You're fully engaged. And when you're engaged, people engage with you. Positivity doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on possibility instead of limitation. It means when challenges come, you don't collapse, you look for solutions. It means when someone makes a mistake, you don't tear them down, you build them up. That mindset is contagious. People crave it. Nobody wants to spend time around someone who sucks the life out of every situation. They want to be around someone who makes them believe things can get better, someone who reminds them of their own strength. Think about the leaders, mentor, friends who inspire you most. It's not just what they say, it's how they make you feel. They bring an energy that lifts you. They have a spark that reminds you of your own potential. That's what engaged energy does. It doesn't just attract, it activates. People walk away from you feeling better about themselves, and that's why they keep coming back. Now, here's the secret. Your energy is a choice. You control it. You decide every morning whether you're going to show up drained and defeated or alive and engaged. Yes, life is hard. Yes, you'll have days when you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed. But your energy is not determined by your circumstances. It's determined by your decisions. You can choose to shift your focus. You can choose to breathe, reset, and re-engage. That choice is what makes the difference between being forgettable and being magnetic. Your energy also reflects how you take care of yourself. If you're running on empty, if you're constantly stressed, if you're not sleeping, moving your body, or fueling it with what it needs, your energy will reflect that. You can't fake it for long. Self-care is not a luxury. It's the foundation of positive energy. You can't give what you don't have. Taking care of your energy isn't selfish. It's essential. Engaged energy also requires gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already here. It changes the tone of your interactions. When you carry gratitude, you naturally radiate positivity because you're not stuck in scarcity. You're not obsessed with what's wrong. You're grounded in what's right. And people feel that. They feel safer, lighter, more hopeful in your presence. Here's something to remember. People don't always remember your words, but they always remember how you made them feel. Your energy is your signature. It speaks before you do. It lingers after you leave. And it has the power to open doors, build trust, and create opportunities in ways that looks money or status never can. Engaged energy means participating fully in life. It's saying yes to the moment you're in instead of waiting for the perfect moment to arrive. It's laughing fully, even at small things. It's expressing yourself without holding back. It's dancing when the music plays, raising your hand when you have something to say, leaning into conversations instead of sitting on the sidelines. That kind of energy inspires others to do the same. And that's why it's magnetic. But let's be clear, positive energy doesn't mean you never have bad days. It doesn't mean you never feel sadness, frustration, or anger. It means you don't live there. You allow yourself to feel it, process it, and then you choose to re-engage. You choose not to let negativity define your entire presence. That resilience, that ability to bounce back is what makes you powerful. If you want to be magnetic, stop worrying about being perfect and start focusing on your energy. Do people feel lighter when you walk in, or do they feel heavier? Do they leave conversations with you inspired or drained? Do they feel like you were fully there? Or do they feel ignored? Those are the questions that define your impact. And the answers always come back to the energy you bring